What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're back on F1 25 for the 2027 pre-season video. If I do sound different, a little bit more joyous, it has been a while since we've actually done one of these, but for YouTube's sake it's not going to feel like a while because how I posted pattern. So we are back. Abu Dhabi was a interesting race, let's say that in perspective. Realistically, the 2026 season was another interesting season. Couldn't really fight or battle with anybody on the grid, and there was no room for development on the car, as we were so behind yet again for season 2. And I've said this before in Abu Dhabi, I fear the same coming into 2027. Of course, the engine regulations came into play, and the chassis, I think it was, came into play literally on before Abu Dhabi's weekends. So we're really in the trenches with the trying to get stuff completed. And to realistically fit the regs, as unfortunately we haven't been able to get the facility requirements we need for the development expansion. And I'm trying to do it the best I can, but I think it's going to come a little bit too late. But that's one of the main things I'm going to be pushing for 2027, is to make sure every single facility has four. I mean four, and I also pray as well, but I think it's going to come in the inevitability, is in 2027 we are gonna be very quickly very high in the cost cap range of danger. There could be a point in 2027, and I do fear this, where we're going to be so invested in trying to get this car where it needs to be in the regulation zone. We're going to be so pumping the money and we're going to lose track on how much we're actually spending, and we're going to be really high, and we might have to just stop completely. It might have to be a point where we have to stop completely and just be like, this is where we're at, and we'll just have to carry on. But fortunately, everything is not too much money. Stuff is not too much money. And you can see we've gone to phase 3 on the engineering, which is even better. But as we push to the end of the season, it is what it is. It is what it is, and we'll just have to push in 2027. Of course, the two drivers we did sign, if you haven't seen it, are Lewis Hamilton, and we re-signed Gabriel Bortoleto for this season. Lewis, I wanted Fernando Alonso alongside, but unfortunately, just too much money, and I'm kind of glad we haven't done something like that. Because I'm obviously now fearing the cost cap. I know we're under budget this season, but I think we could be spending a lot more going into 2027. But on to 2027, we have the 2027 calendar. It is a 16-round season this season, and it's going to be Australia. And we're going to go to Japan, the fierce in Japan, and then to Saudi Arabia for the Jeddah street circuit, and then it's to Imola, to the street circuit of Monaco, then to Canada, then to Red Bull Ring, then to our hometown Silverstone, for Lewis Hamilton, then to Spa, then to Hungary, then reverse, Zandvoort, Monza, Singapore again. We did enjoy Singapore, Mexico, Las Vegas, and then ending in Abu Dhabi yet again. Exciting season, I have to say. But the 2027 engine, I mean, to be fair, it didn't really go to plan on the engine. I wanted to stay with Ferrari, but Mercedes have creeped up with their durability and performance. But it's only correct that you go with the best engine. So we have gone and we've lost a lot of parts in the powertrain. The one bit that I'm so invested in this car at the moment is that powertrain. Just because if we can be quick and have some chassis with us and some aerodynamics behind us, we'll have a good car, because I can control stuff like that. I did it in pretty much every single game that I played. And well, with F123, with F124, cars are really low to the ground. And I mean, look at some of these are single development pieces, and they're costing nearly $1 million to um, upgrade. So I think you can probably see where we're going to be really hurting when it comes to we actually need to stop developing the car, and it might be where we actually have to stop research in 2027 to be able to progress to 2028 with money to be able to come back with the new regulations. And yet again, it could be zero regulations. But the 2027 look and the livery is inspired by an old McLaren. I think you can guess which car McLaren I'm copying. But yeah, yet again, we've got a lot of money for this time, 1.11 million each week. So that's 4 million per month. So that'd be a nice hefty for Lewis Hamilton's contract, for example, which I think is nearly 20-something million. But I mean, the livery looks amazing. The decal editor still using, because I haven't got access to any modding available. So I think the livery is what it's going to be, and our emblem is going to be yet again changed to suit the colours of the team. But yet again, it is what it is. But yeah, I'm very wary of this cost cap going into 2027, and I'm going to mention it every race. But let's look up the 2027 team lineup, and I've managed to do it a lot better than I did for 2026 lineup. It's now so much better. And we're going to go first team are Alpine. They've signed Liam Lawson and Pierre Gasly for the 2027 season. I'm not going to surprise. I thought Gasly would go somewhere else and be able to progress a little bit better. But Aston Martin, I mean, for the third year running, I think it's not surprisable they have retained. Oh no, sorry. I do apologise. Lance Stroll and obviously Ollie Behrman, as if you've been watching, did go somewhere else, and Aston Martin have got rid of Fernando Alonso. Who have Haas gone with? Isaac Hadjar and Esteban Ocon. I mean, that's a very good lineup. Isaac Hadjar's got that rating all the time that's increasing because obviously he's performing crazily in real life, which will help his situation in game. But Mercedes have stick with their lineup still with Kimi Antonelli and George Russell. I'm going to try and get Kimi Antonelli because he's a very good driver this season. But McLaren, big shot this season. Big shot. They brought back Ayrton Senna, and Calimere retains in that seat. Ayrton Senna, very quick driver obviously was in real life and also in the F1 game. And Kick Sauber have got Pepe Martini and Nico Hülkenberg again for the 2027 season. For Red Bull, this was a massive shock when I saw this. Charles Leclerc and Lando Norris have signed yet again for Red Bull, and I always, when I was looking at this, I was like, where is Max? Ferrari have signed Oscar Piastri yet again, and Aiden Jackson, our non-fictional Connor Sport character, is racing for the team. But for Racing Bulls, I was literally like, where is Max? Max is something you keep for a long time. But Paul Aaron and Zach O'Sullivan have signed for Racing Bulls. And, I mean, we haven't got a lot of teams left. We've got one more team, which is Williams. I was like, okay, a bit of a weird one. Verstappen for Williams. No! Carlos Sainz and Alexander Albon are both still with Williams. So that means Red Bull literally booted Max Verstappen out of the team for the 2027 season. And I was shocked. Really shocked. And I literally was just so mind blown that they would get rid of such a driver. But I was also like, that can play into my hands. If I can picture this really right, what I want to do for this season, and into the next season of developing the car to be somewhat suitable in the mid pack, and be able to pick up some points, pick up some of this, pick up some of that. And I have the focus and participation, the awareness, everything for the drivers to progress as soon as they come to the team. That's it. They can progress straight away in this team. I was thinking about this. Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen. That could be our lineup for next season. That could be our lineup for next season. And I was really going to be like, yeah, we're going to get that. We're going to get it. But also, there's lots of different avenues, and we haven't even seen how some of these drivers are going to behave. Of course, supply upgrades really helping us, and yet we're at the bottom. But I think it's going to be very tight with the top four this season. As you can see in the R&D already, we have a very tight progression. But this is really, I hate doing this. And realistically, when I was doing this thing, I was so unmotivated to carry on with this project of ours on F1 25. And that's obviously one of the other reasons why I haven't posted so much on F1. But that's in the past. And that's also why I had to apologise in Silverstone. Because when I was doing Silverstone, I was also doing this. And I didn't obviously carry on. I just wanted to finish the season. And that's why I had to apologise in Belgium. I was just like, the things I said were stupid. Things were so stupid. And obviously what I said about Ayrton Senna was obviously true, of him signing. But the way I came about it and the way I said it was completely disgusting for me to say. As, to be fair, I never had the opportunity to watch Senna race, but watching his replays, he was such a talented driver. And especially his Monaco final laps with Nigel Mansell behind him. It's just like, yeah, what I said was completely wrong. But I asked for forgiveness, and you guys respected that. So I do appreciate this community being really forgiveness, and it is what it always is going to be something silly that I'm going to say. But yeah, there's more admin we need to do. Hey, running costs. I mean, look at them running costs. 6 million in the bag, and we don't lose a lot. So it's 5 million coming in each time, each time that you do. But 23 million for the expected salary, 6 million. So we're looking at 30 million course of this season, which is going to go to our drivers. But look at that, 600 per base income comes out to pay our drivers. Not a lot, but we have got a lot of upgrades to do to be able to get level-headed with all of these. And I'm going to keep doing research until we get to that point. Where it's just like, no, there's no way we can still say we can do this. But we can keep going. And making sure that we can get the best car possible for mid-season. But yeah, we've got a lot of upgrades to do. But yeah, just there's not much I can commentate on here. But yeah, just doing a lot of upgrades, a lot of expansions, like I said at the beginning of this video. Well, towards the beginning of trying to get obviously three, possibly 4 coming in. Coming into this season. But yeah, doing breakthroughs, preparing myself
Hey, Chief. We have a part or two ready for development because they finished
for
research. Let's get that in
this
motion,
season
shall we?
being tough,
Head to engineering for more
but
info.
also a thing we can manage. Being tough, but a thing we can manage to do. And as you could probably tell, it was a long video. It's a kind of a long video.
A sponsor is interested in backing our team.
It was a long video,
Hey, Chief,
but there's not a lot
we've
of like
finished developing the part, and
2027
it's now
action,
ready
if
for
that
fitting.
makes sense. We're doing
Make
a lot
sure
of
to stop by
2027
the assigned
admin,
upgrades
and
when you get the chance.
in this process, I can talk you through how I felt. I was really, really annoyed, and there was a thing that I said. I was just like, we have to keep going because there'll be light at the end of the tunnel. We have to keep going with these upgrades, and it's true. We have to really push with these upgrades, and really push with the fact that we have a bad car, but we've had a bad car for 2 seasons, and we've achieved podiums in two out of the seasons, and it's season 3. And if you come to think of it as well, we have had 10 races to really do something, but we haven't had that progression to do something, because it is what it is, and the upgrades are coming in, the base income's coming in, resources coming in, advanced tooling's coming in, everything is coming in, but we also, I think, the next couple of upgrades, the next couple of episodes, possibly until Saudi Arabia, are all going to be angry videos. They're all going to be angry videos in terms of what I do, but when obviously I'm voiceover, I'm going to be quite calm, because what I'm doing in the video is not me in the moment. Like, this is a talk over. What you see in the background is past me. So with this, I'd already finished and editing this season 2. So I was doing some of the season 3 content I wanted to do. So you're going to see until Saudi Arabia, and I'll say it until Saudi Arabia, every single intro apart from Australia, because we do Australia quite close and then we just go straight into it. What you're going to see in let me think, until Saudi Arabia, especially with these intros, and then especially driving as well, we're going to be really, really, really angry. Really angry. We're buying research, development, and we're not going to think about that cost cap. I'm going to tell you this now, we are not going to be thinking about it until Saudi Arabia, where we have to really think about, can we go forward with this cost cap? Are we going to break the cost cap this season? Because I ain't got a clue what happens if we do. With the research, I'm just trying to get all this research done. And to be fair, we are rich, realistically, with all the research, we just haven't been able to apply this season in. But with all of that, I do a Bible verse now at the end of every video. I do. This one comes from Matthew 11:28. Come to me, all of you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. That's going to be the video today, guys. I hope you enjoyed. A lovely Bible verse to end it. But I'll see you guys for round number 1, down under in Australia, as we kick off 2027, 16 rounds, full push this season. I'll see you then, and goodbye.